15 shocking facts about coming to America you never knew. Hollywood Insiders. In today's episode of Hollywood Insiders, we are taking a deep dive into the 1988 comedy classic, Coming to America, from Eddie Murphy's brilliant multiple roles to the iconic improvised scenes that define a generation. We explore the behind-the-scenes secrets of this beloved masterpiece. Why does this film still hold up as one of the best 80s comedies? We break down the cultural impact, the fashion, and the incredible cast. In this video, the surprising truth behind the Soul Glow jingle, how Zamunda was created in Queens, deleted scenes and improvised moments. Comment your favorite quote from Coming to America. Today is your 21st birthday. It means you meet your wife-to-be. How can a man get excited about a woman he's never seen? He certainly is quiet this morning. He looks sad. Is something troubling you, my son? No, Father, I'm more than the exalted ruler of this land and master of all I survey. I'm also a concerned dad. Well, Father, just a moment. What is he doing? It looks as if he's coming here. Coming to America is a 1988 American romantic comedy film directed by John Landis, based on a story originally created by Eddie Murphy, written by David Sheffield and Barry W. Blaustein, and starring Murphy in various roles. Arsenio Hall also in various roles. James Earl Jones, John Amos, Madge Sinclair, and Shari Headley. It tells the story of the King Joffrey, the crown prince of the fictional African nation of Zamunda, who travels to the United States in the hopes of finding a woman he can marry and will love him for who he is, not for his status or for having been trained to please him. The film was released in the United States on June 29, 1988, and received generally positive reviews from critics. It was also a box office success, grossing an estimated $288.80, $350 million on $36 million Australian dollars budget. In 1989, a pilot for a planned spin-off television series was made. Although this was never picked up for a series, a sequel to the film Coming to America was released on March 4th, 2021, directed by John Landis, screenplay by David Sheffield, Barry W. Blaustein, story by Eddie Murphy, produced by George Fosse Jr., Robert D. Walks, starring Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James and not his social status, Akeem and his best friend, personal, aid semi that made over $200 million, as opposed to him coming off a couple of movies, which is where I'd rather see him be right now. Despite the experience, Landis and Murphy collaborated again 6 years later on Beverly Hills Cop 3. In early 2017, an announcement was publicized which addressed the impending production of a sequel to the film. Kevin Misher was named as producer, and Sheffield and Blaustein, the original screenwriters, were also attached to the project. However, the participation of lead actors Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall was left undefined. On January 11th, 2019, it was announced that the sequel was moving forward with Murphy reprising his role and Craig Brewer as director, having previously worked with Murphy on the Netflix film Dolomite Is My Name. Arsenio Hall, Shari Headley, John Amos, Paul Bates and James Earl Jones, returning for the sequel as well. Wesley Snipes signed on for a role in the film. It was reported that Leslie Jones and American rapper Rick Ross were joining the cast in undisclosed roles. The film was scheduled to be theatrically released on December 18, 2020, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Amazon Studios bought the distribution rights and released it digitally on Amazon Prime Video on March 4, 2021. Coming to America was released on DVD. On June 3, 2008, the film was released on Blu-ray on June 3, 2008, and re-released on Blu-ray on January 1, 2013. And on June 12, 2018, Coming to America was released on 4K Blu-ray on December 1, 2020. In early 2017, an announcement was publicized which addressed the impending production of a sequel to the film. Kevin Misher was named as producer, and Sheffield and Blaustein, the original screenwriters, were also attached to the project. However, the participation of lead actors Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall was left undefined. On January 11, 2019, it was announced that the sequel was moving forward with Murphy reprising his role and Craig Brewer as director. Having previously worked with Murphy on the Netflix film Dolomite Is My Name, Arsenio Hall, Shari Hetley, John Amos, Paul Bates, and James Earl Jones returning for the sequel as well. Wesley Snipes signed on for a role in the film. It was reported that Leslie Jones and American rapper Rick Ross were joining the cast in undisclosed roles. The film was scheduled to be theatrically released on December 18, 2020, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Amazon Studios bought the distribution rights and released it digitally on Amazon Prime Video on March 4, 2021. Beyond questions of authorship, another quiet controversy haunted Coming to America in 1988, a question of representation. In a New York Amsterdam News editorial later republished, presumably for the benefit of white readers in the Village Voice, Ali Rashid Abdullah wrote that voices from the African American community have, predictably, taken positions pro and con in relation to the imaging of African Americans, as well as Africans in Coming to America, specifically regarding the scenes in Prince Akeem's native Zamunda. Abdullah asked pointedly, does Murphy help perpetuate a negative image of Africa for the sake of a few laughs at a time when blacks are beginning to identify with their African roots? If someone told me I had to get with my white roots, I'd say they were being racist. The term African American didn't start getting used until 1989, so this kind of retcons the history slightly. Black people didn't really choose to adopt the African American label. It was pushed on them by the media, social academics, and political groups who tend to benefit from racial marginalization. The 80s were so anti-racist that Americans flipped to being racist again by forcing black people to be culturally segregated. Most black people in the U.S. were born in the U.S. and have no ties to Africa. But between all the campaigns like U.S. for Africa, Sun City, We Are the World, etc., black Americans were shoved into adopting the label. Look at 48 Hours or Trading Places compared to Coming to America. Trading Places is probably one of the best movies about class, race, and income inequality. Coming to America is just about race. They flip a few stereotypical jokes, but essentially, it's kind of cliche. Most other countries' black people still refer to themselves as black. You don't have African Canadians or African Europeans. African American is actually technically the wrong term. If you were born in America, you'd technically be an American African if you were born in America. Or, like every other country, if you're born in that country, that's what you identify as. Color isn't a factor. Example, a black guy born in Great Britain is called British, not African British or British African. He's British. He's also black. I've always wondered how black British people answer the race question for American websites. There's no black option. You have African American, and if you're British and black, you're neither of those things. Coming to America movie reviews. Coming to America, 1988 is a beloved comedy that has garnered significant praise from Redditors for its humor, charming performances, and cultural relevance. Here's a succinct guide to what Redditors think about this classic film. General appreciation. Favorite Eddie Murphy film. Many Redditors consider Coming to America to be Eddie Murphy's best work. Still to this day, my favorite Eddie Murphy film. There is a fine line between love and nausea gets me every time. Timeless comedy, the movie is praised for its enduring humor and quotable lines. Coming to America is probably one of the last comedies with bits, like The Barbershop and Sexual, Chocolate that hold up, are endlessly quotable but don't drag down the rest of the movie. High ratings. It often receives high marks for its overall quality and entertainment value. Good comedy film is hard to find, and Coming to America is about as good as it gets. Sure. Memorable moments and characters. Barbershop scenes. The barbershop scenes are a particular highlight, featuring Eddie Murphy in multiple roles. Loved the dudes at the barbershop having a good time. Sexual Chocolate. The performance by the fictional band Sexual Chocolate is a fan favorite. Sexual Chocolate, everybody. Sexual Chocolate. Royal line. The line about the royal is frequently cited as a hilarious moment. The royal is clean, your highness. Cultural and social commentary. Cultural critique. The movie is noted for its cultural commentary and exploration of social themes. The film also hits on culture and change very well, especially with how women are treated, and that they should be equals to men. Representation of Africa. Some Redditors appreciate how the movie handles its depiction of the fictional African nation of Zamunda. They play it straight and they don't whitewash it. Cameos and connections. Trading Places cameo. The cameo by Ralph Bellamy and Doan. Amici from Trading Places is a beloved Easter egg. No, the Trading Places? The cameo was Ralph Bellamy and Doan Amici, the Duke brothers, still destitute and homeless, who were seen by Eddie Murphy. He gave them some pocket change. Samuel L. Jackson. His cameo as a robber is also a notable moment. I also have to admit that I really enjoyed the scene featuring Samuel L. Jackson's cameo when he walks in trying to rob the restaurant. Criticisms and minor issues. Ending issues. Some Redditors find the ending to be a bit lazy or abrupt. Great movie, but one of my negatives is the ending. Firstly, the wedding only happened because King Yaffa forgot that he could change the rules. Lack of music. A few viewers felt the movie could have benefited from more musical scoring. It was interesting to see the lack of music in many places. Sequel reception. Negative reception of sequel. The sequel, Coming Our America, RE, is largely panned by Redditors. Avoid the abortion of a sequel. Coming to America 2021 at all costs. Coming to America 1988 was a significant commercial success, reflecting Eddie Murphy's popularity at the time. Here's a summary of its box office, both domestically and worldwide. Why wouldn't a famous comedy movie from the 1980s that was a commercial box office success, both domestically and worldwide, and which starred Eddie Murphy at his peak, hold up? Peak Eddie Murphy. It showcased Eddie Murphy at the peak of his 80s heyday. This movie is great, showcasing Eddie Murphy at the peak of his 80s heyday, but it isn't merely him playing the star, as the whole cast are in top-notch form.